What if the two parties fail to dialogue? What other steps do you have in place to address the conflict in the country?
My appeal is that right now, as I speak, religious leaders, we have been working with religious leaders since yesterday. And of course, I remember last time I told you, media, that as a SEPA, we are trying to look for another homegrown solution. The homegrown solution is the religious leaders. They are going for mediation. And I think the best option that our leaders should listen to religious leaders. I know Pope have wrote letter at a moment where he is sick on the bed. That letter of Pope have never yielded any results. Then normally people ask a question, will the national religious leaders play a big role apart from Pope letter? And remember, Pope is not only the letter. He visited the country, he kissed the feet of our leaders. Our leaders promised them and they have not honored those promises. I think for me, the next thing we're communicating to our leaders, that we are fed up of violence, we need them to pronounce enough is enough for violence. And of course, they should remember that when you continue making violence as a game of the day, you're orienting our citizens to start developing attitudes of violence, and that what have led Bashir to fall, that what has led Gaddafi to fall, that has what has led Saddam Hussein to fall. Embracing dialogues, actually you are violence, you are mobilizing the citizens to also think that violence is the only option for resolving problems. And when citizens opt to use violence as the best approach for resolving differences or violence or conflict, I will assure you there will be no force that will stop the citizens from toppling a functional government. And we have seen in Sudan with Bashir, we have seen in Libya with Gaddafi, we have seen with Saddam Hussein, and we have seen in the Middle East, the Arab Spring, and we have seen in the West Africa. So we still feel our leaders have option to dialogue. And I know one of the biggest things that why our leaders are not entering into a dialogue, that I have to be honest with you and sincere, is that our leaders have so many spoilers around them who are anti-successful political transition in the country. And they listen. And one of the things I'd like to ask His Excellency President and Second First Vice President, why are they listening to spoilers more than individuals that want to see the state of South Sudan as a functional state? Because I feel spoilers have hijacked the leaders of the country. And that's why several times I've met in several media houses that it's a time for our leaders to distance spoilers around them. And we have always in violence what is called the profiteers of the violence. I think South Sudan now is been captured by profiteers of the violence. And if our leaders didn't distance themselves from the profiteers of the violence, their legacy will be in the books of violence rather than in the books of peace and stability. So I think for me, they really take a responsibility. And still they have the option of taking that responsibility as they promise the country in their... Today, let me ask you, let us ask our leaders to come out and address the country. The one thing they will say, for the sake of peace and stability, we have compromised. But actually, sometimes the compromises resulted to exchange of bullets, which for me is a contradiction to their political commitment, their political will for our country to prevail and to act as a peaceful country in their society and in the nation of leaks.